This platform is actually just so hard to use. Oh yeah, here's my groovy ad with my winning product.
No.
Oh shoot, I didn't see that coming. What do I do now? Yeah, what do I do now? Facebook ads, there isn't that much you can do. There's a lot you can do to prevent getting banned, and there's a few little tips and tricks that you can do after you get banned. And that is exactly what we're going to be looking at in this video today. If you've been banned on Facebook, I feel you. Now, the only things that you can really do are appeal the account, which doesn't seem to work all that well, build a new Facebook business manager, or build a new Facebook account. And there's a bunch of other things. So, should we get started into how to fix this big old blue mess? I think so. Avoid getting repeated declined payments. This is going to be a big red flag for Facebook when you're using their ad center. Essentially, you're going to be pumping money into them. They're the biggest advertiser in the world, and if you get repeat declined payments, it's just a bit of a red flag for them. This also includes late payments as well as declined, and it might result in getting suspended and then getting your ad account banned. Follow Facebook's community standards guideline. You can look at that in the description, and I really encourage you to read it. I did not read it when I started using Facebook ads. I just thought, oh, I've watched a couple of YouTube videos. This is just really intuitive. I mean, it's not. It's not really intuitive. But you just get started, you plug a bit of money in, you make an ad, and then you've been banned. On the Facebook guidelines, you'll be able to see about page quality score. I haven't quite found a way to actually find your own page score, but you can go through and read up on what makes a good page and what makes a bad page. Always review your page quality to see if you've been flagged for any issues, not only on Facebook, but also on your Instagram account. Avoid using spammy or sketchy content. That's basically what they're going to tell you. Now, I know that those terms are subjective, and I went through and I tried to do some research on figuring out the best and the worst models on sketchy and spammy landing pages, but it was actually quite difficult. So I've just got a few examples here on the best kinds of landing pages that follow Facebook's community guidelines. So if you want to see what a really good social media policy example looks like in terms of graphics, branding, and conceptual outputs, then I would highly recommend reading this article by FirmPlay. This link will be in the description. I would just go through and you can have a look at good and bad, corporate, casual, different types of copy. The main thing that I've drawn from it is all of these people are very consistent, and it also gives you an outline into how to run social media when you're not running social media. So if you have a social media person and they need to respond quickly to something, make sure that everything is written down concisely and clearly. Your entire brand story basically just needs to be easy to pick up and easy to use. To avoid getting a low quality ranking score on Facebook or Instagram, you're going to want to build out an ad that's clear and concise and that follows the rules, as well as a landing page that is actually consistent with that ad. We'll go into this a bit later. You can use a few different tools to make sure that this is set up properly. But on a basic level, you want things to be very similar along this customer journey. As well as the page being consistent with your brand and style, you want to avoid clickbaits. And you don't want to use too much text over an image. This is pretty crazy, but Facebook doesn't really want you to use more than 20% text over an image. Otherwise, it's going to slap you on the wrist. So you always want to review the quality ranking of your ads. You definitely don't want to be putting up ads where people click that hide all ads from you. I'm not really sure how bad an ad has to be to get that happening all the time, but you've kind of got to follow your common sense. Don't be an infomercial, don't be spammy, don't be sketchy. Just be clean and simple and just make it user friendly. But as we're going to see in this video, there's a whole bunch of weird nuance that Facebook doesn't like, so it helps to understand what those things are. But on this customer journey exercise, when people follow through your ad and into your landing page, they're going to want to see a few different things. It has to be consistent in terms of the brand voice style. So this is the colors. The product itself should be there as well. Sending people from a product ad to a homepage has actually triggered me in the past for a Facebook suspension, which is absurd. But you basically want to have that featured product you were taking people from Facebook to see, from Facebook to your landing page. If you can have that featured product right there on the landing page, that's going to be good. But sometimes it's even better to just send people to the product itself. So you want the names all to be the same. And if you have any font styles, that will help you as well. And on a basic level, the advertising should just follow through. Facebook really hates it when you send somebody from A and they end up in C. So avoid a poor quality landing page. Don't have too many pop-ups, and definitely don't have further advertising on your homepage, landing page, or product pages. This is a big no-no from Facebook, and it will get you insta-banned. Stop. Hammer time. Make sure to input enough details about your product or service and the brand as a whole. Simple things like having your legal pages on Shopify or WooCommerce set up. So having a refund policy, a return policy, a shipping, and having a business incorporated is always going to help you as well. Make sure that you're accurate and you avoid misleading content, and don't have any broken links on your website. Avoid repeating any of these violations, because that's going to get you suspended or banned. And on top of this, you can use the Facebook debugging tool to show you exactly what you're missing on your page. But we'll get to that a bit later. So Facebook has these tools to make sure that you know where you're going wrong. It's not always quite clear and concise, but you should review them constantly when you make changes on your Shopify store to make sure that you're not going down the path of suspension. If you review it constantly, then you're in good stead for not getting banned in the future. And before you run Facebook ads anyway, you want to use these tools to make sure that you're not just going to pour a bunch of ad revenue into the Facebook ad and then send people to a page that's not worthy in the eyes of Facebook. You can't even use phrases like "or you" or "do you." Facebook will shut you down. Shut it down! Shut it down! You can't use before and after images. And Facebook really hates seeing pictures of bodies. Even if this is positive copy, even if it's completely innocent and unrelated, Facebook isn't going to like it. For example, if you're selling an ear infection product or something to do with any part of the body, even like a close-up of your shoulder, where you're going to like have a masseuse or a chiropractor repairing muscle tissue, innocent, helpful services like that, Facebook's just going to go, nah, don't want it. And then you're sitting there with your ear infection specialists or your physiotherapy, and you're just like, okay, I'm sitting duck now. I can't use my ad account, can't use my business manager. It is easy as possible to not get banned before you run ads, then you'll probably just be in a better place. Now, let me just read you a section from this policy because it just gets so weird. Ads must not contain content that asserts or implies personal attributes. Pretty broad there. This includes direct or indirect assertions or implications about a person's race, ethnic origin, religion, beliefs, age, sexual orientation or practices, gender identity, disability, medical condition, including physical and mental health, financial status, membership in a trade union, criminal record, or names. So when I read that, I'm like, that's pretty much just covering people in general. It's a big all-inclusive bubble around people. So in my Facebook ads, I just don't use people unless I've got a release form about that person and it's a real actor that they've signed up to be part of this ad. Because if you're targeting people and you've just got a random photo off the internet, Facebook's just going to be like, nah, this isn't what we want. And avoid directly targeting certain people. I mean, that's so difficult when you're making an ad, but if you can try and do that, then you're in a good place. Facebook hates bots. If you want to put an ad on their platform, you've got to play by the rules. I was reading an article about this and they said, essentially you have to look at it like you're coming to a big company with an investment plan. Essentially going to be putting content on their platform. I mean, that is what you're doing. You're putting up content on Facebook. So they have every right to just say, now we don't want this on here. So if you can play by the rules and avoid getting labeled as a bot, then you can keep running ads and you won't get banned. To avoid getting tagged as a bot on Facebook, there's a couple of things you can do. Firstly, you want to have a verified ID. Now, this is different depending on where you are in the world, but a passport usually works best. This ID should be used in conjunction with a personal Facebook account, one that you've been using for many years. This means that you've probably built up a bunch of activity on Facebook, like joining groups, posting photos, commenting on other people's statuses. This all proves to Facebook that you're a real person and you're not a bot. Another way to prove that you're a human is to set up two-factor authentication. You should probably just do that anyway for security's sake. But whatever account you're running ads on, just make sure that you've set up a mobile number, and even better, a mobile number that's congruent with the mobile number on your brand website. And then make sure that you actually just do the two-factor authentication. Make sure you get the code so that Facebook knows that you are real. If you've already been banned on Facebook, you'll have to set up a new account. Now, when you set up a new account, use a different credit card than the one you got banned with. So you start a new account, use a new credit card. I'd actually recommend using the BlockFi credit card because it earns interest in Bitcoin. So there's a little tip for you. But otherwise, you don't want to be using the same credit card that got banned on the first ad account because they have a big ledger that shows them exactly what's going on. And this credit card that got banned on your ad account is going to be red flagged. So if it crops up again on another one, that's just going to get canceled as well. Then there's some products on Facebook that you just can't sell. And this can be really annoying. Exhibit A on the Fairhead store that I started about 6-7 months ago, I tried to sell a pair of gardening shears. Innocent, simple, useful product that Facebook denied me. So go through the Facebook community guidelines policy and have a look at which products they don't want you to sell. And of course, you actually want to read the Facebook ad policy. It's not that long to read. Go through and really understand what you are and what you're not allowed to sell. Facebook even has a blueprint for e-commerce where you can have a look and just read these 15-minute blog posts on policies that you need to adhere to. Some of this is really basic, simple stuff like explosives, but then there's these other products like mine that I think are just completely harmless. And then in the eyes of Facebook, it's a weapon. So you can't be selling things like that. If Facebook finds that your product is part of this product list, it's going to deny you. And then you could try appeal it through the Facebook Business Manager, but more often than not, you're just not going to get a reply. So the better option is to just read the policy first and then put a product up. Don't put a product up that they don't want and try and argue with them because you're just going to be up against millions of other people who are using Facebook who are trying to get through to their support team, and it's just probably never going to go anywhere. You can go many, many, many months without them replying to you, and then they're just going to deny you at the end of the day. Okay, so here are some more things you should not do while using Facebook ads. First of all, don't use Facebook while traveling. If you log into Facebook and the ads manager at lots of different IP addresses, this is going to look suspicious in the eyes of the Facebook algorithms, so don't do that. There are a few little VPN tricks that you can use, but the best thing to do is just to use the IP address that you started the account in. Be careful with your daily ad spend. Spending too much too quickly is going to make you look like a risky advertiser in the eyes of Facebook. There's a couple of drawbacks to this anyway in terms of the actual marketing campaign, so always start small. On top of this, Facebook is going to look into the history of your account, and if you've just put a big injection of funds in at the beginning, it's going to be a red flag. So just follow the process, don't rush things. Avoid using trigger words. Trigger words is a new concept that's been coming out in the last decade. It's just offending people. So obvious things like weight loss, you want to stay clear of. Words like dangerous or wrinkle loss shows Facebook that you're an aggressive advertiser and that you don't really want to play by the rules. So make sure that you're accurate with the content that you put out, you're responsible, and you're sensitive to what you're saying to people. Don't be misleading and just be honest. Be honest in your ads, truth in marketing. It always helps you in the end. One thing you can do is create different business manager accounts. In case one of these accounts gets banned, you have a backup. If you wanted to build out those ads as you're publishing them on the first account, then you can create a whole backlog that you can work with if the first account gets banned. Make sure that you get these ads approved before you're up and running. It's the same thing with starting slow and building it out. You want to have these approved and take things slow in those first few stages. Okay, and here's a little trick for you. You can go on to www.mywot.com. You can use this website to review your store and make sure that it's not coming up against any of the things that Facebook do not want on their Facebook community guidelines policy. And you can use this, developers.facebook.com tools/debug. This is going to show you if your page has any issues. This is the sharing debugger. You can put in your website here, ferncity.com, and it will give you a bunch of warnings and data around the scraping of your website.
So I don't really have any issues apart from a Facebook app ID, which I can probably just reconfigure. Everything else looks okay. You want to run this through to see if your page has any red flags.
Facebook is a useful platform. It's annoying, it's invasive, but it's the best that we've got. So here are a bunch of last tips that I have to avoid getting your Facebook account banned. So good luck. Hopefully these tips help you in the future. First off, verify your business. You can do this in many different ways around the world. I'm not familiar with different countries. The way that I've done it in New Zealand is get registered as a company with the New Zealand Companies Office. This only costs under $100, and I'm set now for life with this limited liability corporation. This just takes you from being a Shopify account holder to being an actual business owner. It's kind of arbitrary in my eyes, but in the eyes of Facebook, this is credibility, and it's going to stop you from getting banned just that little bit more. Verify your domain name. You can do this in the business manager settings. I'd also recommend having the same domain name as your Facebook page account. And if you're going to be using a Facebook page, as I said at the beginning, you're going to want to use a real account. Never direct link to affiliate programs and further advertising. Facebook hates this. Have a direct tracking link like CPV Pro. Avoid using trigger words. I talked about this earlier on, but to expand on it, annoyingly, you can't have things like crypto, CBD, weight loss, dating. All of those things are going to spike up in Facebook's eyes. This video may not be evergreen, so double check Facebook's terms of service, as it might have changed by the time you're watching it. And just double check those exact terms that they don't want you to use. Make sure that your images and creatives are original. Of course, always in dropshipping, in e-commerce, in business, you want to just make your own content. But I keep seeing people just stealing people's content. This is another reason to not use other people's content, because that content might have already been banned by Facebook. And if you just pop it up, you sink $100 into Facebook ads, it's going to get banned straight away. So don't waste the money. Instead of wasting that $100 on Facebook ads, use that $100 to do a real good product photo shoot. And then you'll stand out from the crowd anyway. Sweet. So that is how to avoid getting banned on Facebook from my perspective. I hope that that's treated you well. Best of luck with it in the future. I hope that you don't get banned. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.